Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Point, and Anthony Casa. Welcome to Ann Arbor.
Yeah, it's nice to be here. It's very cold.
It's very okay. You live in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, but this is a whole different level of cold.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, listen, we're really excited to have you here. It seems like every time you come, we just continue down a path of new, innovative, market expanding ideas and opportunities.
Yeah, I think we hit it off sort of from the start, to be honest with you. And I got a little bit of history. That's true. But I thought you were going to be the guy that was buying lunch. Of course, we're broken. but touche. So, but since the very start of our conversations, going back to sort of your history with innovating in the channel, we've had a lot of dialogue just focused on like how do you make the process as efficient? How do you put the broker in a position to be as efficient as possible? And I think, you guys are very much focused on achieving that.
Absolutely. Well, I think, and it's really, just strategically, we have to take the friction out of this business and out of the process.
I agree.
And I think one of the things that you've been really a visionary as it relates to looking at what are the gaps that mortgage brokers have versus other forms of whether it's retail, whether it's bank lending, and how can those be filled. And really, the Arrive platform is a big part of the answer to that. So maybe you could talk a little bit more about how did you come to visualize that?
Well, I think the first and most important thing is that at my former brokerage, Garden State Home Loans, the thing that we realized when we hit our peak month, historically, we hit 306 units for $110 million of business as a 40-person company, was the month after, that week after we closed those loans, we really, as a company, everybody was like beat up. Like the processors were beat up, the loan officers were beat up, and we realized that we had really worked hard as can be to get to that number, but the likelihood we could keep that pace up was not going to happen. We were going to have to add a lot of bodies. So when I saw that issue, I said, if we can't accomplish this at a sustainable level, then your 1 to 2 man shop that doesn't have processors and all that other stuff can't either. So really focused on how can we create a mechanism that allows the broker and the lender to have a frictionless experience, but also a fully connected experience. And I think if that's your baseline, you can accomplish a lot. But more than anything, the most interesting part of this whole process was the lenders, once they saw the vision, were equally interested because they were looking at it and saying, yeah, we agree. We would love to have direct communication where the broker could share a condition with us in live time. So it's exciting because the only thing that was lagging between the lender and the broker accomplishing this was communication and kind of collaboration.
Right. Well, I'd say a fair bit of technology.
And a little bit of technology and work.
But you identified that, and the fact that the process, it was fragmented for different reasons, right? To your point, not just the technology.
Yeah.
It was the relationship. And I think for us, what I saw early on was that this was really an opportunity for us to show, we were new to the business. I'm not new to the business, but Home Point's relatively new to the business. So, it's important for us to demonstrate to mortgage brokers that, we were very committed to their success. Like, we're not successful unless they're successful.
That's right.
And so I think, you've been on it all along, really.
Yeah, and I have no problem. I think the interesting thing here at Home Point is very similar to what I've experienced with a couple other companies, which is like, it's not a one-way conversation. It's not us, me kind of going and saying, hey, I think you should do this. It's let's talk about some of the fundamental problems that are out there. Let's talk about like not just the broker's ability to have technology, but let's talk about the relationship between the broker and the lender and some of the things that the broker needs support-wise to be successful. And like we've just had so many conversations about that, and the willingness to kind of power that is
evolve it. I mean, I think I may have taken a position or two that are different, much different now than they were then. And I don't think I was being unreasonable at the time, but I think as it evolves, I think that's the fun of this to me, is we collaborate and we figure out, all right, there's a way to make like 1 + 1 = 3.
Yep.
Not 1 + 1 = 1.5.
That's right.
Which is kind of how the business was for
still
a very it can be, right. And so as you know, one of the most important aspects we believe of building that relationship with the broker is actually with the way we handle servicing.
Yeah, I agree.
And so so maybe you talk a little bit more about why you think that's so important.
It's very important. Honestly, it's so important. I know everybody, has heard certain level of dialogue when it comes to brawl or whatever, but, it goes way past the point of that. It's really understanding what it means to have customer acquisition, and servicing is strategically an important part of the mortgage life cycle that brokers have, looking back 20, 30 years, undervalued. And the truth is that the consumer, there's things that happen during that post-closing settlement over the course of them paying their payments that really generate their interest in refinancing, selling their home, that the servicer has access to and a relationship with that customer because they're managing their monthly payments. And if you're a broker and you're not in a situation where you have a lender that's willing to partner with you and actually share some of that information, you have no way of staying in front of your consumer when they're a buyer again or when they're going to be shopping for a mortgage again. So the unique thing here is that not only are you looking to partner with brokers when it comes to that life cycle, but things that we're talking about are very innovative. We're talking about changing the entire way that the consumer and the broker and the lender sort of communicate with that ecosystem. So it's interesting.
Totally. And so talked about it's an important part of our strategy, but I kind of want to go back to something because I connect it, which is you said a word that I have not heard maybe in my career until recently from someone who's so focused on the mortgage broker side of the business, and that's sustainability.
Yeah.
And so
that's right.
And I know that's one of your mantras is sustainability.
It is.
And to me, the servicing aspect of it is that connectivity point that allows you to build a sustainable model.
That's
and
right.
not just the transient transactional model.
That's actually the single biggest thing I'm trying to behaviorally impress upon the broker community is we can't be transactional agents. Understanding that transactional work, do you want to be the waiter or do you want to be the restaurant owner?
Right.
And I think it's really important that you understand the difference, because at the end of the day, if you're in a situation where all you're doing is generating customers that you don't retain, you have no sustainability. At the end of the day, technology, whether it's Zillow, Amazon, Rocket Mortgage, you are not going to be able to keep up with what they're building. So they're going to be able to stay in front of the consumer way better than anything we're able to accomplish. So it's really important that you look at the long-term relationship. So it's not about getting that extra 0.5% on a certain transaction. It's really about understanding that if you can partner with lenders that are willing to keep you in the ecosystem, keep you part of the relationship long-term, you're now building a sustainable model where you are doing, not only the multiple transactions for that customer, but the other thing, which is the average customer refers up to 4 other customers to the original loan originator within the first 2 years of a transaction. So it's that ecosystem too. So it's a big deal.
Right. So like it says, sustainability, lifetime value of a customer, those are things that haven't been talked about.
And that's
and they should, and they will. And as you know, we're dedicated to working with all the folks at AIME.
Absolutely.
We're glad we're a flagship member of the AIME platform, and hopefully you'll come back to the show again soon.
I will be back here when the temperature hits 40.
We'll work on that. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care.